In Chapter 18 of Thracia 776, we face two of the most difficult and frustrating optional objectives in the entire Fire Emblem series. The first is the member card, and in order to get it, you need to not kill any of the Lancer soldiers on this map. This is not impossible because capturing and releasing enemies is okay, but I failed the objective almost immediately by killing a soldier on enemy phase. I opened the map by moving through and immediately blocking all the reinforcement spawns as quickly as I can, allowing me time to set up for the second optional objective, which is a character recruitment that is so complicated it is easily misconstrued as a shitpost. This is the Xavier recruitment. Xavier's recruitment requires that you have 8 NPC villagers talk to the corresponding Leinster Knights, with the recruitment failing if any of them die before they have their conversation. This is notoriously difficult to do even under normal circumstances, let alone under Ironman restrictions. One of the main reasons why this recruitment is quite difficult is that the NPCs and Knights will likely get caught in traffic jams, and having the villager talk to the Knight will convert them into an allied unit, possibly causing them to fight with other Leinster Knights and potentially killing them, resulting in a failed recruitment. Further complicating matters are Frege Knights interspersed amongst the Leinster Knights who can capture or kill the civilians, which can also result in a failed recruitment. In order to make this recruitment even reasonably possible, most people will obtain a sleep edge from Chapter 16 to individually put each of the Leinster Knights to sleep before trying to have the conversations. A common character used for this method is Ralph, who joins with enough sword rank to use the sleep edge, and more importantly is not strong enough to instantly kill the Knights with a crit, because if you accidentally kill the enemy Knights, then you will fail the recruitment. I open the doors to the central chamber where the Knights are, and they follow through along the edge of the wall. I carefully snipe and kill the Frege Knights as they pass through, and the Leinster Knights bunch up as they move through the hallway. I set up Ralph to use the sleep edge and put the Knights to sleep, but unfortunately, because I lost all my Crusader scrolls last chapter, I have no means of gaining crit immunity, which is a problem because many of the Knights have killer lances. Ralph gets crit and barely survives, but he manages to put the first Knight to sleep. I swap the sword over to Fred to take advantage of support bonuses and have him attack on player phase to put the second Knight to sleep. Unfortunately, Fred cannot survive a critical hit, so I swap the sword back to Ralph and position my units so that only one Knight can move in, with the only attack option being Ralph, allowing me to put the third Knight to sleep. Unfortunately, now the enemy formation is very inconvenient for me, so I am forced to back up to the doorway to ensure that only one Knight attacks me at a time. Against the fourth Knight, Ralph gets crit and whiffs his sleep edge hit, meaning that he has to try again next turn. Ralph gets crit again and misses again, but on the third try he gets hit but crits in retaliation. Fortunately, Ralph is not strong enough to kill on a crit, putting the fourth Knight to sleep. I back up one tile to take on the fifth Knight, who hits Ralph with a crit and follows up because of Adept, giving me a minor heart attack, but luckily he misses his 80% chance hit, and Ralph lands a sleep edge, putting the fifth Knight to sleep. As it turns out, every Leinster Knight has movement stars, Adept, and Miracle, giving all of them a small percent chance of ruining your day, which is one of the trolliest designs I have ever seen in a video game. I have once again run out of space, so I back up even further to another door in the upper right. Fortunately, I have gone through most of Knights that have killer lances, leaving only the ones that have hammers with 0 crit. Fred manages to sleep the 6th Knight and then the 7th as well. I back up once again and then put the last Knight to sleep on player phase with Fred. Now that all 8 Knights have been put to sleep, I just have to move all 8 civilians to talk to them. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a traffic jam issue, and if you put the Knights to sleep in an inconvenient spot, the sub might get stuck and effectively fail the recruitment. Fortunately, I have Dawson, who has 20 constitution, allowing me to move any of the Knights around if I need to. After all 8 conversations have taken place, the recruitment is secured and Xavier starts moving towards Leaf. Xavier and Leaf have a conversation, recruiting him and gaining me a general who can use lances indoors with a high rank of E. It's kind of a nasty joke that the only 2 indoors lance users that you can get start with absolutely no lance rank. Xavier is actually quite a decent unit, even though the effort needed to get him is absolutely ridiculous. At this point, I'm somewhat embittered by the lengthy recruitment process, and I decided to assert my dominance over the general by manually moving all the civilians and allied knights in front of the boss to be killed to deplete the boss's weapon. After having Xavier drag his retainers in front of Gustav to be summarily executed, I have him repeatedly fight the boss with a broken lance to degenerately grind him to an A weapon rank in lances and to reach level 20. Hilariously, while the process of recruiting Xavier took around 2 hours, it only takes 20 minutes to get him to level 20. I finish up and find that I'm very close to a very funny turn count, so I wait for a few more turns and then seize, completing the Xavier recruitment in Chapter 18 in only 776 turns.